1 minute. I think I forgot to do that. Sometimes this technology, you think you got it, and then after all these years, I still forget some things. So just in 1 minute. But yes, good evening on the chat. You can engage there. And how was your day today? All right. Thank you very much. So thank you for joining us tonight. Like I said, you are tuned in to Get It Right with Atara Solutions. Get It Right with Atara Solutions is a webinar series that seeks to demystify issues in employment and entrepreneurship. We are here every Tuesday from 8 o'clock to about 9:15, and we are on a mission to have as many informed people as we possibly can. So all my co-hosts are not in today. Yes, they will probably be joining us. Unfortunately, Catherine Sidandi had other engagements today, so she's not able to be here, our sign language interpreter, but we recognize her in absentia. Catherine Sidandi, thank you for the good job that you do and for making us inclusive, and she'll definitely be here next Tuesday to continue with the amazing job that she's doing. So, and of course, my co-host Richard is also not here. I think he'll be joining us shortly. Earlier today, we were kicking off the Transcend mentorship program by IHRM. So we were just trying to catch up and just train the mentors as we look forward to onboarding the mentees. So at this point in time, allow us to just give a recognition to those who have been supporting us, and also tell you what's happening in terms of events and where you can plug in on matters Get It Right, so that you can continue getting it right. So just 1 minute. Right. So we have Nile Front cottages. Nile Front cottages are cottages located in Jinja, Uganda. Nile Front cottages have the most amazing views. Please don't just think about going to holidays around here. Just drive down to Jinja and get to enjoy the views. And then it's near where Lake Victoria meets River Nile. So the views, the fish, oh my God, it is just out of this world. And then you have Profiles International. Profiles International, if you're looking for people to do your psychometric assessments, if you're looking to become a Genius emotional intelligence coach, then Profiles International are the ones who offer those services. We have K-Square HR Services. K-Square HR Services are our partners in Kigali, Rwanda. K-Square HR Services, if you're looking for HR services around Rwanda, Kigali, then K-Square HR Services will be able to support you. Please don't, if you have a workforce down in Uganda, in Kigali, if you are operating in Kigali, need support in Kenya, we are here for you. If you're in Kenya, need support in Kigali or any other part of the country, and you need, or rather, of the world, and you're looking for support in HR around Kigali, then K-Square HR Services would do that for you. And then we have Steadfast Quality Solutions. Steadfast Quality Solutions are our partners in Kampala. If you're looking for somebody to conduct your board evaluations and train your board members, then Steadfast Quality Solutions are your people. Steadfast Quality Solutions is headed by my good friend Herbert Zakeh. Herbert Zakeh is a Gallup strengths coach, and he has coached over 500 executives. Please take advantage of the sessions offered by Zakeh. If you're looking for a coach, then you can get in touch with Herbert Zakeh. We have AAR Insurance, AAR for all your insurance needs. We have Hotel Sapphire, a hotel located in Mombasa. If you're looking for a place to chill, they have beautiful conference facilities, by the way, and their food is really, really awesome, and it's right in the heart of the Mombasa city. So please visit Hotel Sapphire for just get to enjoy yourself. And then we have Tufaha Resort. I'll be telling you more about Tufaha Resort, which is located in Nanyuki. We have Panessa Training Institute, an institute that offers carpentry and joinery sessions. If you're looking to become an expert in working with wood, then Panessa Training Institute would be the best place. We have Port Sacco for all your Sacco needs. And then we have Sotet Kinyumbani, the only place in Nanyuki that sells mursik. They also serve local delicacies, and you go there. Their vegetables are so fresh. Their meat. Oh my God, their food is just out of this world. If you're around Nanyuki and you're wondering where to have your lunch or dinner, then visit Sotet Kinyumbani. Then allow me to Okay, so yes, I told you I'll tell you about Tufaha Resort. We are heading down to Tufaha on the 12th of April from if you're coming from Nairobi, transport is about 3,000 shillings. If you are around Meru, Isiolo, Nyeri, and wherever it is you want to come from, then please join us at Tufaha Resort down in Nanyuki. We have Get It Right with Atara Solutions road trip edition. We will be learning, we will be having fun, and we're going to be really enjoy a weekend out of Nairobi. So this is going for only 4,500, which is for conference and dinner. If you're looking for accommodation, please get in touch with us, and also transport. We can always organize something. So please don't be left out. 12th of April, it's a date. And then you have been invited to a 3-day summit at Trademark Hotel for all the ladies and what women want. And for the 3 days, tickets are 3,000 bob. And then for 2 days, I think tickets are 2,000. Please join over 40 panel discussions, workshops, and experiences around career, wellness, beauty, etc. And you will get to enjoy and be around fellow women as we celebrate International Women's Day. And then Nancy and I will be at Sinapis this Friday evening. Please join us for this wonderful conversation for only 3,000 bob from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And this is going to be a conversation around accelerating action, and we are going to be talking about collaboration. We are going to talk about how you can shed old feathers. We are going to also be talking about how to power healthy networks and growing your own tribe. So please join us on Friday, this Friday, yes, Friday from 5 o'clock at Sinapis in Westland for these wonderful conversations with wonderful women this Friday. For only Kenya shillings 3,000, you get to interact and network, learn as you enjoy the strength you are building around your community. All right, so I think that's it for recognition. And at this point in time, today we are discussing an important topic that I think is very, very pertinent to all of us. And I know quite a lot of people are going through this in silence. Actually, some people don't even talk about the fact that they have to leave office and rush to hospital to look for to take care of somebody. Some people don't even mention that they have to travel every weekend because they're taking care of a loved one. So I think today is an important topic to just touch base on how you can take care of yourself. And with us is none other, I think she's not new here, is Nancy Karibiru. Sorry, I have a cold. Nancy is the CEO at Hisia Psychologist Consultants, and she will tell us more as she engages us on how to take care of ourselves as we caregive or take care of others. Karibu, Nancy.
Asante sana Grace. And I think we need to meet for coffee sasa ndio ikue automatic. So thank you so much for this opportunity and for everyone who has tuned in to the conversation that we are going to have. We are talking about caregiving, something that a lot of us are tasked when we are thinking about black tax, you know, in one way or another, we end up being caregivers because we have aging parents. When you have growing children, you still are a caregiver. And then when you have family members or friends who require your support, in a sense, you're a caregiver. When you have employees who require your support as a HR professionally, and you have to step out of just the limitation or the obligation of your employment, in that case, you've assumed the role of caregiving. So caregiving can be short-term and there are some aspects which require you to be a full-time caregiver. So that is the aspect of caregiving, and just to give a broad perspective. So my name is Nancy Wanjiro Kafiro. I am a psychologist practicing with Hisia Psychology Consultants, very passionate when it comes to mental health. We have made a remarkable impact to over thousands of individuals and families and organizations through empowering them to be able to stand on their own when we are looking at mental health and understanding the nitty-gritties of how to ensure you have healthy well-being. So with that said, let's jump into it. I had expounded a little bit, but in this case, there is an assumption of a caregiver being a person who only takes care of old or aging population. But we are not limited to that, because we go through life. There are lifestyle illnesses that are coming up, or even unexpected tragedy that could meet any of us, and you're put in a position where not only your financial input is required, your reasoning, your judgment, decision making, your presence, is expected there. So besides having that image there of a nurse, I want us to know that there are different aspects. There is a family caregiver within the family. There are professional, like that lady there who we can call a nurse or a professional caregiver. There are child caregivers. The nannies you employ in your homesteads play a crucial role in taking care of your children. And during the time that they are serving you, they are playing the role of a caregiver. Then there is what we call relief caregiver, somebody who steps in. Like if you find yourself in a situation where you're overwhelmed and you physically have to play the role of changing or even walking and feeding the person who requires your support, you can get a reliever who we call a respite. And then there are caregivers who work with individuals who are going through end of life, who we call the hospice caregivers. And there are those, maybe like if you're admitted in a hospital and required to be checked every once in a while, you can opt to have a caregiver sit in with your patient as opposed to a nurse. So those are called live-in or within the home, whoever you hire. Even if they are specialized as a nurse, they could be referred to as live-in. And then there are those who are specialized and trained medically to tackle those delicate conditions such as dementia, cancer, name it all. Those are the different types of caregiver. So this is a person who cares for those who need help in taking care of themselves. That is very simple. You need to take care of yourself, so somebody will step in to support you, because during that time, you cannot, because of one reason or another. So this could be a child. What are the situations that lead one to have a caregiver? We've talked about general nannies. It could also be because that child has a specialized condition. And these conditions could include autism, it could include developmental challenges, and so you have somebody to support you or to offer that professional guidance with raising this child, because they understand the milestones better and they can offer you the support. It could be somebody who is old. Talk of your great-grandmother or grandmother who is aging. That is a process in life that we cannot do without. We all have to go through that. But at one point we will require to be supported, because maybe sources of income have reduced or we don't have the energy. Or somebody who deals with, or who supports you during a chronic illness. So that is what we consider a caregiver. So what makes a caregiver is the desire to serve, coupled with the nature of the specific duty they perform. Okay? Remember, the role can be short-term or long-term. depending on the need. So we need to understand the different terms that we use or that are referred when we are looking at a caregiver. It could be a guardian. So when you take your kids to your parents, because maybe the house helps have brought issues, your parents are playing the role of a caregiver, and your parents at that time are guardians. Okay, it could be a carer. Now, in the context that I earlier explained, a caretaker. They could be referred to as a caretaker or a health professional. When you're within the hospital facility and the doctor is serving you, and they have to see you for several instances, at that time they are a caregiver. A medical assistant or a medical man, a primary care provider. There are instances that require one to have one. A nurse, a medical practitioner, a health care practitioner, and a nurturer. So you see that list expands to broader, not limited to what a lot of people would consider, a bit of a general term. So within the families, this is where it becomes hard. Within a family caregiver is someone who is caring for a spouse or a parent or an extended family member or a neighbor. And you need to think about yourself whether there are those who you provide help to. And this help could include transportation to medical appointment, purchasing or organizing medication, monitoring the medical condition, communicating with healthcare professionals, advocating on their behalf with providers or agencies. This could include insurances where payment is required, or getting in and out of bed or chairs. There are instances like if you've undergone surgery, you require support. There are people who are not able to dress, they even get by to buy grocery, do the housework. And this is where the nannies come in, preparing meals or managing finances. So we do caregive when we are spending our resources in support of a condition. So this caregiving helps with creating a stable, predictable environment that will offer a feeling of love. So why would you need your nanny to go or to be passionate or to be willing or to have a calling to support? It's because it will give that direction. So no one is exempt of being a caregiver in this case, because in the world and in general, there are only 4 types of people. So those are people who have been caregivers, they've done their job, and those who are currently caregivers, and those who will be caregiver, and those who will need caregivers. So this topic is relevant and applicable across the board because caregiving is universal. And this was said by Rosalynn Carter, who was a former First Lady in the United States. So when we are thinking of caregiving, I want us to envision a 3-legged stool that has to function, where caregiving is not one person's role. It requires the support of the other 2 to be complete. So you have a family which serve as 1 leg, and then you have the professional as the other leg, and you have the recipient of that support as the 3rd leg. Okay? So they have to need your support. Your support has to be relevant. It has to be improving their life. It has to be directed by a professional, okay? And the professional relies on you to give them information about this person. So even in the homestead, we can think of the child, for example, being 1 leg, and then you, the parents, in this case would be the professional who has the standards or the way you want your family to run, and then the nanny as the person who is the caregiver. So it always has to operate in that aspect. So a caregiver is responsible for so many things. And anyone at any stage in life can become a caregiver. Being a caregiver means making someone's life easier, safer, and comfortable. All right. So it's you who feels for them and you aid them from going through the challenge. So you always have to be alert. You always have to use your sixth sense in order to make their life comfortable as they get by. So whether the caregiver is a paid professional or a family member, the responsibilities will include, as listed below, hygiene, giving medication or ensuring there is provision, ensuring there is a meal and feeding this person, and ensuring they've eaten, tidying up so that it is a conducive environment for them, parents, taking care of, well, dementia in this case, in instances where they have memory lapse or forgetfulness or reaction due to a breakage in their brain communication, ensuring that there is continuous management, being a companion. In a sense, you're the person ailing or needing your support. You're their first companion or point of contact or sense of safety. Transferring, making decisions to transfer or to move the person around. That said, we find ourselves in situations that we were ready for, and sometimes we were not ready for. And when people come in for therapy because they are overwhelmed, the first question we want to find out is how well prepared were they? Or were they expecting or not expecting? What resources did they have? What have they exhausted? So think of yourself and look at the situation in which you are existing in the one of the four kinds of people. And, now base your answer to this question, whether you are prepared or not. So we find that people who are caregivers are not able to ask for help, and people who need the help find it hard to ask for help. So here, there is a saying where asking for help is the most meaningful example of self-reliance. I know we've talked about self-care before so many times, but in this case, we are looking at self-reliance. Knowing when you're not able to meet a need, and understanding and quickly asking for a solution or airing it out there so that you can be supported. So that is the most meaningful example of self-reliance. And then while you're in your situation at that point, you need to have some sort of hope, because impossible situations become possible miracles. So what are we saying here? We want you to have a positive outlook in your condition and with the person giving you the support you require. That way it is easier to navigate. So the task of a caregiver is just not simple. It is an unprescribed or described, it comes without a JD, because it is the human in you who is usually to step in at this point. So being a caregiver means that you're able to create positive experience for the person you're caring for. It means that you're able to make their daily activities possible and achievable. It means that you're able to stay sharp and use your sixth sense. Okay? It means that you're capable of loving yourself in order to love others, filling your cup first and being able to fill other people's cup. How do you fill your cup? Staying informed. All right? It also means in some aspects being selfless. Okay? Because there are conditions or people or situations that will require you to step in and maybe forfeit a few things here and there. And that is where I know there will be a question or a concern of how do I navigate that my life is happening? I am employed and required to show up at work. I am taking care of children. I require to be present. I am probably dating in a relationship or married, and that also requires my presence. And as a person, I have my own life that I will continue to have. So if you have a question around that, please send them. I will tackle them towards the end of the presentation. So it also requires that you're selfless. With that said, since there is no definition, you have to create your own definition of how and what you can engage in as a caretaker, as a caregiver. We have a lot of people who experience burnout, and we call it caregiver burnout. So caregiver burnout is when this person who is providing care experiences emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion, right? With exhaustion, I want you to think, let me give an example or an analogy. I want you to think of a car that started a journey at full tank without a clear destination, and it continues to run until the fuel runs out. And where the fuel runs out, there are no fueling station. And because the destination was not clear, you just continued with the journey because you were expected to go on a journey. So that is how caregiver burnout usually feels like. Okay. Another way you can tell that you're going through a caregiver burnout is when you are outside of the work or the situation, you experience flashback because of certain traumas that you have witnessed, such as medical emergency. Did you see that person convulsing, gasping for air? How was that? How was it responded to? What did you interpret it or perceive it to mean? Did you see that person getting to maybe near death? Okay. Or was it a traumatic accident that you have had now to become a caregiver of? Did you see it when it was happening? Or did you find it and you decided to support natural human instinct? And so you have flashbacks when you are away from that. And some examples could also include you going through falls, seeing somebody going through seizure or near-death experiences. So when you have that and it is interfering with your daily functioning, then you are in that state going through burnout. And burnout does not have to be excessively prolonged because we all have different skills. So what are the symptoms that of a caregiver burnout? Besides the flashbacks, because I started with the heaviest, there are instances where you find somebody having unusual or unhealthy eating habits. They develop them during the process of their caregiving, right? And that is because they're finding comfort in food. And they are going through overwhelm, but they cannot fully be able to tell. So I want you to observe or think of someone who is a caregiver, that firstborn somewhere. We know the firstborn, say, that secondborn, who is the one who takes care of the emotional need of the family. Think of them. Do they have unhealthy eating habits? And think of yourself. Have you had unusual weight change or gain, right? Unusual. And are you taking care of someone? Having poor sleep quality, because of course, when you're having the flashbacks, you will have interfered sleep. Are you feeling tired, lack of energy all the time? Are you feeling down and unhappy? So this feeling of down and unhappy could feel like it's a cloud over you that is heavy and pouring, and it's dark and gloomy. You could be feeling stressed and easily irritated So are you snapping out easily, or situations annoying you, you know? Are you having failure to maintain social commitments because of the commitment you have in terms of your what is expected of you? Having lots of interests in work or work-related activities in that you're not able to complete a task because your mind is not there, or you're fully tired. And when are you neglecting physical symptoms because you feel that you're not as important, or that you can handle, that one who you're taking care of is the one who requires medical attention. So you will get flus, you'll have stomach aches, or you will have headaches, and you're neglecting those symptoms because you feel, let me do what is expected of me for them. Mimi, I'm a soldier. So those are symptoms of burnout. And there are more symptoms now besides that. We have caregiver who go through emotional trauma. Remember, you shared love, or there is a connection that grows when you're taking care of someone. Okay. But there are times where there is a lot of enmeshment and one is not able to tell the boundaries, or you lose focus and goal and fully immerse yourself on the need of this person or them getting better, which is a good thing, but there's only so much you can do. It's good to understand you have limits as a person. So when you see someone suffering or deteriorating, it can eat into you. When you see someone helpless and the medical interventions are failing, it can drain you emotionally. And if you are experiencing grief or anticipating a loss because of the state the person you're taking care of is in, you would be going through what we call an emotional trauma, a distress. And it is something you will live with. You go through grief cycle, yes. But in most instances, we have people who don't seek support going through complicated grief. Then we have physical and mental exhaustion. So I talked of the symptoms of no energy at work and sleep interference. Then there's also inability to juggle responsibility that one would have. So you might tell, or you might say, I'm going through my mind block, or I'm not able to, think and be as productive as I would have wanted, or as I used to be. And you might not even understand why that is happening. It could be because you're exhausted in this case. There are times that even simple solutions will not automatically come to you because of how you're mentally or physically exhausted. Then having health issues, stress-related health issues. I talked of headaches, high blood pressure, depression. We talked of the symptoms. Another symptom of burnout is when you're going through financial struggles, because providing for means that you're forfeiting either a present need or a future goal that you had as a person to meet the need of that situation. So you might end up sacrificing work opportunities or income in order to provide care. You might be dealing with financial burdens. We talk of medical bills, special equipment, or home modification in order to make it, conducive for the one who is ailing. And in this case, this is where we say you need to be fully prepared, or you need to be forward thinking and mitigate certain measures, especially like if your parents are retiring and they no longer have an income, you can plan your finances such that you save in advance to put them on a medical cover, so that in case of a situation that is beyond you, it does not strain you financially. Because people who get blocked with the financial struggle, end up blaming themselves, feeling like they could have done something better if there is an instance of loss. Then you miss out on opportunities when you're a caregiver. because in a sense, your life stops. So you become socially isolated. So you lose touch with friends and family. So here I would like people to stay alert and create a communication tree or network where your support system understands what you're going through, or we learn communicate that you need support. And then because of exhausting your mental capability, one may feel like no one else can understand their struggle, so they may keep quiet. Another reason for social isolation is stigma that are associated with the condition of the person who requires your support. Like if a parent is going through dementia, there are people who don't want everyone to know, or they don't want to share that. If you have a child who has a developmental challenge, you find that there are people who take themselves away from what used to be their social support, because now this is a new thing and they don't want to feel exposed. In a sense, they blame themselves. It's not healthy, and you can always recreate a support circle. Then there is an aspect of grief and self-doubt that a lot of people will go through. You might feel guilty for not knowing, not guilty for not stepping in, guilty because you are frustrated, or feeling guilt for wanting a break. Okay. Regretting decisions you made earlier about your decision, your loved one, or feeling like you're not doing enough, or like other people are not doing enough. Okay. And here we call for understanding what is healthy, healthy expectation, and what is unhealthy expectation. Okay. Still going back to your cognitive reasoning. Then the other one is when you're going through post-traumatic stress disorder, or compassion fatigue. Still, we'll call it burnout, because you witnessed emergencies, you are experiencing flashbacks. I talked of that initially. So caregivers go through, when we're looking at burnout, they go through 3 stages. And be aware so that we can arrest these situations early enough to avoid you being the one who requires caregiving. I hope we have understood that. Because if we self-neglect, we might end up being the ones who require caregiving, whereas we ignored our own needs while the signs were out there. So the first stage is where you start feeling stress or going through distress, irritability, feeling overwhelmed, having high blood pressure. Sometimes you'll find that you bite your tongue, or you grind your teeth, or you bind the inner part of your mouth while you're asleep. That's subconscious, because your mind or your brain is overwhelmed and it is on over speed. Difficulty sleeping, memory challenges or focus challenges, and also feeling palpitation, or what we would call anxiety, experiencing anxiety. That's the first stage. So if you came in at this stage, it's easy to deal with that. The second stage is where we have now the burnout happening. And you will notice now in your capacity as a business owner or as a HR, is that somebody is coming late to work, they're procrastinating, they're having trouble relaxing. They're experiencing, now this is for partners, there's decreased sexual desire, there is less energy, withdrawing socially, sometimes being cynical or resentful. That's negative, being negative. So even the comments or the jokes would be towards negativity. And then, as I said, change in eating habits. This would be drinking, smoking, or eating more. So there are caregivers who indulge in drinking because of being overwhelmed, or smoking, or not having feelings at all. That is being apathetic. Yeah. You're neither happy nor challenged, you're just there. That's the second stage. And then the third one is where we have compassion fatigue. Now here, we are breaking, we are cracking. So you're feeling helpless and meaningless as a person. Not now what you are doing. It's you directed it towards you. Now, in this case, you're now becoming the person who requires caregiving because you're having chronic stomach and bowel problem. You're overwhelmed and exhausted and drained. And you're having chronic headaches, the paracetamols are not working. You're desiring to exit from the society. You avoid friends and work. And sometimes you think of death or suicide as an escape. All right. So at that point, we are critical. So in stage 1, we can seek support. Stage 2, well, sometimes we might require medication. And now stage 3, we are critical. However, from caring comes courage. That is a saying by Lao Tzu, because you can only know how courageous you are by being in a situation where you have to care. Okay? So sometimes show courage for yourself by caring for yourself. Understand your needs, understand your goals, understand your objective, start being decisive or firm. Because if you're the breadwinner, for example, in a family, you're required to continue keeping your job. So if you have to miss work in order to take care or step in, there's a compromise. So courage is understanding the role you play or the requirement you have in that case. So I will invite questions, then we can proceed to the next things. Grace?
Yes. There's a question on the Q&A. Somebody saying, why many caregivers, especially those who are not professionals, are determined with their job, especially the housemaids, are determined? I am not sure what that question is. Are determined. I am not too sure. Then Peter is saying, how do we stabilize emotional imbalance of the traumatized caregiver?
Okay, let me tackle those two. Traumatized caregiver. So you see, sometimes when you're looking at the nannies or the house helps, that job means survival for them. Okay. So they could be determined, or they could even overexert themselves while at work. Remember, while they are working for you, they don't have a social life. So even marriage, if they were married or getting married, those are stages somehow that they overlook. So they could be determined because from where they come, they are also expected to provide financially. Okay. And that's why fair pay for employees is important, so that they also meet other needs or expectations. If they are not able to meet, they will end up being a problem to you. They may insist on staying, but they are not being productive. So we have to look at a win-win. Then the emotional need of somebody who has seen a traumatized situation. Of course, therapy has to happen. Number 2, being there for them so that they can talk or they can express what they are experiencing and not judging them, not providing your opinion. There are times somebody will tell you, when I sleep, I gasp. And then you quickly jump into answers. You gasp because you sleep facing up. And they may end up being discouraged to tell you why. But maybe if you asked or if you were keen, they would express to you I'm gasping, or I've been gasping since I witnessed clients almost suffocating. So that has been affecting me. And in that case, you can direct them to therapy, or towards meditation, or towards seeking spiritual grounding. It depends. There are different solutions that work. But at the end of the day, anyone who has gone through trauma requires cognitive rewiring, so that they can be able to view those situations as non-life threatening. All right. Grace, any other?
There's a long one here.
Mm-hmm.
How best can we handle caregiving in highly matriarchal and patriarchal instances where matriarch or patriarch is in need of support from peers and siblings, and the children can't reach out?
Oh, okay. So if I'm understanding it correct, there's a hierarchy. So the siblings and the family. So this would be their family of origin, the ones who are in charge. Then the kids are not able to reach out. So in a sense, I'd break that to a family being dysfunctional, in a sense, because caregiver is not limited to age. Caregiving is not limited to age. Everyone can.
Nancy,
Yes.
I'm thinking it's probably the African setup where your father needs to be taken to the toilet or needs to be washed, and you as a child is against what do we call it, cultural norms to get that done. Yes, I think it's in that line.
Well, then I'd say, in a sense, your psychological, emotional well-being comes at play here. So if cultural norms, if you went against that, you'd be in conflict with your emotional, psychological need. Then being comfortable to ensure that somebody around that age of your parent is available to offer that support, or a professional, if it is a nurse or a practicing caregiver, there shouldn't be opposition. So learn or understand when to introduce professional, and also understand the limits of culture from you as an individual. Being open to that things can be done, and giving insight where your insight is required. That would be the response, but they can let me know if they feel satisfied.
All right. And then that Wafula is asking, is there a law covering the whole matter of caregiving?
It's a profession. Caregiving is a profession. So that's why we have professional caregivers. And I think they have a regulation. I don't know about the law. If anyone does, please educate us on that. But at the same time, because we are human, you cannot ignore when another human requires your support. So when you become a caregiver, it is important to get some training or some level of insight so that you can handle burnout, so that you can take care of you as a person. You can continuously understand your own needs, so that you can be able to operate on certain boundaries and have a structure. Okay. Because for caregivers, we tell them that they have to have a communication tree. And a communication tree means that when you're giving out information, it's not only to one person, it goes across the board to the relevant family members. So you're not carrying the burden by yourself. So, and it means that the information you put out is the same. So open a WhatsApp group communication, send email that can be picked up, that have a support system. Communication should be in that aspect. And when information is coming to you, it's also coming to you from all those sources have converged, and then you can be given the information or requested for an adjustment here and there.
And Nancy, there are 2 people or 3 who are asking, how do you handle compassion fatigue?
Yes, it's part of compassion fatigue comes in when you've been taking care of people. So what's your limits as a person? Are you self-aware? Because a lot of empaths end up with this. Are you self-aware? And then who aids you? Okay. It's good to have a schedule. So that, because if you're caregiving, it's a job like any other. You cannot work Monday to Monday nonstop for 6 weeks without getting exhausted. At one point or another, you need to step out. So have a social life, have your own family support, be able to communicate outside of the work, maybe with other people who are in the same profession. Consult with a medical practitioner even when they are coming to see this person about how you're feeling, so that they can alert you on what probably you're not able to see. Take holidays, take some time out, travel, disconnect, exercising, knowing that I start work at 8, so before 8, I probably need to have gone for my run or for my walk. Try and have a normal life outside of that need that you have. We say too much of something is, monotonous, and monotony can lead you to that.
And then there's a question on, okay, this one maybe needs to come and see you. He or she is saying, I find myself as a caregiver, as a young, I've lost it, as a young single parent for my mom, shouldering responsibilities of her and all my siblings. I don't know how depression looks like, but I feel like I'm drowning. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for asking that question and also being aware of how you're feeling. And we find the words to describe what you're going through. So depression, I remember I shared that image. Depression feels like a heavy cloud above your head, that is pouring on you. So you feel stuck and there's nothing you can do. You feel that there's nothing you can do. So you will notice that your sleep patterns are a challenge. You'll notice that your eating habits have changed. Maybe you're not eating, or maybe you're eating excessively. Sleep pattern, I mean, you're sleeping too much. You don't have energy, okay? You're feeling tired or lazy. You're feeling like you have a certain fear, but you can't put your finger to it. You might be feeling too exhausted that you want a way out, and that in that case, maybe planning to end your life because you're tired. So yes, it is a point of concern. And depression, those are some of the symptoms of depression. And it is possible to get out of it. And to give you clarity, between the point of being healthy, if it is at 0 days, and the point of severe depression takes about 14 days, 2 weeks. Okay? So if you have been at it for long, then we are talking of you having cycles of depression. And the next time it hits, you will not feel it at the same intensity. It will be at a higher intensity. So the level of helplessness will be at a higher intensity or because of a heavier situation. So we say seek help earlier so that you're equipped to know, to avert, and to deal with, or to support yourself or to live a healthy life so that you don't end up being the one requiring caregiving.
And then before I allow Selena to speak, Selena, we're coming to you shortly. There's somebody here who is saying, I have lived with my bedridden 87-year-old mother for 2 years. She has two living caregivers. It is very difficult to deal with such situations. Though my mom and caregivers live in separate house in the residence, it gets overwhelming. Do you think we need counseling? I have never considered it a problem, but from your presentation, I find a whole range of issues that need professional help.
I'd say yes, support for yourself. Start with yourself, then we can move to now the other support individuals for your parents. And also understanding the condition, because there are times when we are in denial and we fight, understand the condition, work with a medical practitioner. Your therapist can also equip you with more knowledge on what to expect or why the person is at that stage, okay? And how to journey with them, what can be done to improve their situations. There could be other recommendation of other professionals if the situation is improvable, right? Or how we can maintain their normal functioning so that they enjoy the days that they have, feeling normal and not feeling like a burden. People who are being taken care of sometimes will reject you, the caregiver, or you who they feel should save them from their situation because they've developed some level of bitterness, maybe due to a limit to their understanding or denial. So yes, it's important to seek therapy so that you're better equipped to support them. And you as a person, for you to live a happy life. You could be guilty of choosing a certain maybe luxury, making your hair. Why are you making your hair? Maybe when you're expected to do ABCD. But you need to look good in order to feel good, in order to be good. Okay? So therapy will help you with such things.
Nancy, somebody is asking for your contacts. Maybe you can put the slide with contacts or you can share on the chat. Selena, you can go.
Okay, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I
Loud
can
and
hear you,
clear.
Selena.
Okay, I just wanted to share my experience. I became a caregiver of my mother for about 12 years. I will not give details because of time factor.
Yes.
And after a very long time, my energy started going down. And I used to pick her. I realized I could not pick her. I could send people now to do that and all that. And when she passed,
yes,
I wasn't recovering. That was the problem. I wasn't recovering. I continued going down. I stopped. I lost interest. I could not go to join other people in any functions. I could only go to work because it was mandatory.
Yeah.
So my mother had told me to always pray and all those things and listen to the radio Aumini.
Yes.
Then, so in that process, I called the priest because he's also a counselor. And he counseled me and he prayed for me, and that problem partly went away. That year, I also lost my brother-in-law, so the problem was compounded. But then what was the most, one day I was a teacher, I was marking, and I found a colleague also marking. I didn't know her. We shared experience. And she said that her classmate had died because she had nursed her mother and went into depression. So I was very shocked that I could have actually died myself. So it's not a joking matter. And if I had not known symptoms of depression or had the help, because I went out to talk to a professional, I would have, it would have not been a good situation because I just was going down. The other thing I wanted to share also is that there are some things we are looking after people, but we are not able to reverse the situation, yet the situation is very reversible. For example, dementia. We have a product that treats dementia in Kenya here. Within 1 month, dementia is gone. I am surprised that it is the third leading cause of death, even in the US. So we have what we call naturopathy or holistic healing. Some people use herbs, others use food, and so on. But it's things like the diabetes, the arthritis, which I handle so many times here, they get reversed by just improving on using it like I use food. So I want to say that again also, let's be open-minded. I will post here a video on medicine and so on just to help us improve our knowledge. Let's be open-minded, and where we can seek help, let us seek help. So for those chronic conditions, they are reversible. Dementia is reversible. And anybody who wants, they can talk to me. Thank you.
All right, Selina, thank you for saying, speaking up and sharing your experience, and of course, giving encouragement, because you went through it and you came out, you sought support, and you were able to come out of the grief that you had been stuck in. And I'd like to also just mention on that, sometimes these situations where we are, they require us to immerse ourselves, could be situations that present opportunities or passion. So you can see there the resourcefulness of now in terms of medical intervention or alternative medical intervention that Selina has come up with. There's a question from Victor I'd like to just talk about, where he says he witnessed somebody who is a caregiver of a chronic disease, the patient dying before that person, and the person who was taking care of that ended up succumbing to the disease. And he's asking whether they were on the third stage, and it is true. They were on the third stage. The reason why, as a caregiver, you require to to have some level of self-care, and maybe Grace, we can do this on another day where we talk about fully self-care for a caregiver. You need to do this because certain things are contagious. They are contagious because we as human beings communicate even through the neuron path. Well, we don't have to touch, Our body can sense something and it can agree with that situation or with that, condition. And you can end up, having your DNA adjusted, because stress adjusts your DNA and ending up to have the same condition. So you really have to have a fighting spirit and a belief that you're supporting and you're not going to end up with the same condition because you're taking care of yourself regardless, right? So we don't run away because we are fearful, but self-care is very, very necessary. And we can expound more at a different time. Is there another question, Grace?
Nancy, you can finalize because I don't think we'll exhaust the questions.
Okay.
Richard is yes. Yeah. Richard, you have yours. Richard.
Nancy, thank you very much for bringing this topic that we normally don't take seriously, but when you look at the compounding, what I said, the accumulative negative effects that we didn't know that come out as a result of giving care to somebody who is unable to take care of themselves. It is a very important topic, and you've really made it for a minute, or I've lost my, because I've got an aunt who is paralyzed, and yeah, it affects me, even if I pretend that, okay, I'm a man, I'm strong. There is that compounding of the negative consequences. Probably you can tell us how, probably to know how the effects can affect you without knowing.
So I hear you talking of exhaustion, and it could be emotional or psychological exhaustion. And as much as you care and you love maybe your auntie and anyone else who is listening, it's important to know how much you can give and how much you cannot, right? And when you feel that you've reached your limit in terms of the care, tap into yourself. Do the things that make you happy to refill the excitement or the need for living, so that you're better placed to support this person later. That's what I'd say, Richard. But tunaweza patana nyuma ya tent.
I will definitely come to the tent.
Sawa, sawa.
I hope to find you there.
Nitakuwa hapo. So I mentioned that I work, I'm the founder, he's here, psychology consultants. These are some of the services that we offer. I have been putting that there. We have a service delivery approach, and I'm sure you can tell about that. And I'm inviting all the ladies who are in the house to this event. Next year, we will have men coming. But if you're running the session, support your lady or a friend or a sister or a mother to join us in this event so that we can learn and they can be better equipped for you. Another thing that I want to mention is that for corporate organization, it is important to nurture your workforce well-being. And in this case, we have 10 slots that we are giving for free. 40 minutes free mental wellness training for your employee. This is online, okay? So we will give you 40 minutes free mental wellness training online for your employee. Feel free to email us at the email on the screen. Grab your chance, right? Then we are going to schedule and support you so that you have a workforce that is productive and you'd have invested in their mental health and your business will thrive. So contact us for that. That's the giveaway. So those are our other contacts, and I had shared my personal contacts on the chat. And so you can feel free to reach me, but because I could be occupied, be comfortable to text or send me a WhatsApp when I'm not able to pick. And we will be happy to offer you the support. Asanteni, over to you, Grace.
Thank you, Nancy. Agnes Wanjohi, your hand is up for a while. Tell us. All right, that happens. So this has been quite interesting, and I see some people on the chat are also agreeing on even thinking about the fact that they needed to take care of themselves. Sometimes we end up taking care of everybody and forget ourselves. So thank you very much for your input. Nabutola wachana na siasa. We shall have men next year. That is what Nancy has said. This year, allow us. I know you want to come and hear me speak in your defense. We shall welcome you next year. So I just want to say thank you very much, Nancy, for always being here for us. We appreciate you. We appreciate the partnership. And for all of you, if you're looking for a therapist, if you're looking to learn more about mental health, please, he's here, will always deliver. You've seen, imagine if she's delivering online. Can you imagine if it's a physical session? And of course, besides the 40 online ones, the others are paid, just so we are clear.
Yes.
Has bills to pay as well. So
Mm.
please make sure you take advantage of the offers as well and get to learn more. Could we be able to get the recording? Yes, I will share the recording. Please join our WhatsApp group. We will share the recording there. We will be tomorrow. It should be live on YouTube by the end of day tomorrow. So our YouTube channel is Get It Right with the Tara Solutions. I don't know whether Jacinta is on the call today. Jacinta, are you able to share? No, I don't think so. Yes, Jacinta, kindly share our WhatsApp group name so that we can join. Angie, the WhatsApp group link is being shared. But Nancy, maybe your final parting shots.
You are as important as the person you're taking care of. So invest in yourself first. It is not selfish. It is a necessary thing to do. When your cup is full, then you have excess to share. So all the time, we require to ensure that our cup is full. And if you need to assess how adequate the resources you have, be they emotional, psychological, or physical, or financial, towards a situation that requires or is changing or life-altering, consult us. Consult us at TCS Psychology. We will give you the right direction, and definitely you will come out with a positive outlook and enjoy life. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. I think Jacinta has shared the WhatsApp group. Kindly join. We will be sharing the link, or rather the recording there tomorrow, and the link of the upcoming sessions on Get It Right with the Tara Solutions. I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you to our partners. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Richard. And thank you, Catherine Sidandi in absentia, and the entire team at Tara Solutions. You guys are awesome support, and I cannot be me without you guys. Who is the caregiver between me and my people? We caregive for each other. Richard, I am your caregiver. You are my caregiver.
That's symbiotic.
Yeah, that is very symbiotic. So thank you so much for being here. And Nancy, asante sana. By the way, you guys, Nancy is my personal therapist as well. So I bring you people I trust. You can take advantage of that, and I'm sure you'll be served and you'll enjoy the services. So thank you so much, and we appreciate you. See you next Tuesday. We shall be discussing cervical cancer next Tuesday. It is that week. It is that month. We are focusing on us and how we can be. So next Tuesday, we are going to be discussing cervical cancer as we close the International Women's Month. So thank you, guys. Have yourselves a lovely, lovely night. See you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Please follow us on Instagram at Tara Solutions. Like our Facebook page at Tara Solutions. Follow us on Instagram. Connect with us on LinkedIn at Tara Solutions, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get It Right with.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys, and have yourselves a lovely night. Bye.
Victor Erokamano.
Hey.
I don't know why I ran away.